Hello again, Nick Crawley back with the second video on this lovely little letter to Gaius, and I'm looking now at how we should apply this in our lives and in our churches. And obviously the first application is very simply the leading exhortation to Gaius, and that is that he practices hospitality. It's put in the most lovely way. Let me just read this out. Verse 6, you will do well to send them, that's the travelling church workers, the brothers, on their way in a manner worthy of God. And then a little later, verse 8, we ought therefore to show hospitality to such men, so that we may work together for the truth. And we need to do that. In Christian churches all over the world, we need to look after those travelling workers called by God, sent out by God, and serving the church in a wider way. And we need to send them on their way in a manner worthy of God. Amazing phrase, isn't it? So that's the first thing. The second thing is, and here we touch on the heart of the letter, is to study how the elder John exhorts Gaius to do what's right, and then leads him to actually challenges him to do what's right. Now, Gaius himself is probably under some pressure. The implication of the prayer at the beginning is that his health is beginning to suffer. He's under some stress because of the situation he's facing with Diotrephes. And so John is incredibly careful. And if you study the sentences, sentence by sentence, he starts in the gentlest and most affirming way, but he does move slowly to the situation where actually he's saying, now look, you really must do what is right here. You must not give in to Diotrephes. And he even says this, and it's quite a warning, isn't it? Verse 11, dear friend, do not imitate what is evil, but what is good. Anyone who does what is good is from God. Anyone who does what is evil has not seen God. Now that's actually a chilling warning. And he's saying, look, you must not give in to this bullying, because it is from evil. And if you do, then you will be party with that. And guys, don't do that. Just don't do it. And we need to study the way that John argues, because it's an incredible argument, and I think it's comparable to the brilliance of Paul's letter to Philemon, where he persuades and argues with all his skill, saying, Philemon, you must receive Onesimus back as a brother and follow through on the full implications of that. You must do it. And it's an outstanding personal letter, and here we have something very similar from John, just an exhortation to do what is right. It's gentle, but it's, my word, it's clear, and it cuts to the heart. And you sort of feel, Gaius must have heard it and sort of thought, this is big. This is a big calling. I've got to stand for what is right here. And I must carry on, even if it means me being thrown out of the church. And actually, at this point, we meet this fellow Demetrius. Now, Demetrius is much more than just the carrier of the letter. That simply isn't good enough. I mean, the fact that he's introduced without comment immediately after the crucial sentence in the whole letter shows that he's much more important than just the postman for the day. He is somebody who, in my opinion, has either been thrown out of another church by Diotrephes, or possibly was one of the brothers who's had sort of similar treatment. He's been thrown out, and John is using this opportunity to affirm him and say, now look, this guy is doing what is right. You must follow him. I've sent him to you. He's bringing the letter, but he's there to exhort you and strengthen you to do what is right. And so we have, in this little letter, I think three leading applications. Firstly, we must show hospitality to people. Secondly, we must learn that skill of affirming people and helping them to do what is right, even if that is an extremely challenging thing, as it was for Gaius. And we must learn how to exhort and strengthen and admonish and correct and bring out the best in our brothers and sisters, especially those who are facing really difficult challenges. And the third thing is to expose what is evil. John exposes what Diotrephes is doing, and there are 6 charges, and they're serious ones, but he's not manipulative, he's not coercive, he's not aggressive against Diotrephes. He simply states the truth openly. And in my pastoral experience in ministry, real damage is done in churches when what is wrong is not exposed. Now, I'm not saying we should humiliate people, we should never do that, but we must draw out what is wrong. We must identify it, and we must help people to turn and follow Christ. And real damage can be done in marriages and in churches when what is wrong is not addressed, and it tends to fester and then break out in different ways. And this letter has a lot to say about that sort of thing. So there we are. I think you'll really enjoy this letter. Get in touch with me and we can do a pod on Skype or however in person later in due course. Okay, enjoy it.